guys, how's it going? Today I want to start off by giving you all an update of the area behind the barn. It's coming together so beautifully. The grass looks amazing. The gravel lane is done. The area right by the barn is not quite done yet, but we're getting so close and we'll walk out there. And when we're done with the update, we are going to start mulching back here. And every little bit of this powdery white soil we get covered, the better, the more beautiful it starts to look. So for Aaron is so excited about his grass. It looks so good.
So 14 days ago,
okay,
and 16 days ago
is when you put the seed down.
Yeah.
Let's get a little closer because I feel like I'm so far away.
Don't get too close.
You know, though, it looks like this patch here. I gave an update on Facebook and Instagram at day 9, and it was way more patchy, especially like over here. There was nothing growing. So it really has come along even in the last 5-ish days.
I was looking at pictures from when we seeded the other area, like 2021, and it looked so much worse than this.
Yeah, there's like no weeds coming up. I hate to even say that out loud, but it looks like a putting green, Aaron.
Well, maybe.
I think so. It looks so pretty.
It does. It looks really good and pretty uniform. I think we got it pretty level, and yeah, I'm as happy as can be. I mean, like, I don't think that you could really do a whole lot better than this.
So what were you doing? Remind me how often you were watering right at the beginning. It was much hotter then as well.
Yeah, well, I've just been playing with it. I try to have it during the day. I like it starting at 8 a.m. or so. It goes off about every 2 hours, but I'll literally have zones go off for like 2 minutes, you know, every 2 hours. The idea, I've said this before, but the idea is to keep it moist, but not puddle. So
Russell, he's in your shadow.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of the shade. The edges usually take a little bit longer to fill in. You can kind of see based on where the flags are, where the sprinklers are. So, you know, that will probably be a next year thing where the grass kind of makes its way to the edge and we can really get a nice sharp line going on right there. But overall, it's just absolutely beautiful, as is this gravel lane.
Yeah, he did such a good job on it.
They really did. And the gravel lane starts out at our normal lane and comes kind of behind the barn. There's a larger area where we can park some things. Paul and Bethany are already getting started over there with where we're going to start mulching. But then it goes this direction. Try to go slow here. And then it goes all the way around this grass and then back up toward the barn. I'll take a look at this area. So this space was seeded 16 days ago, 2 days before this one. Definitely a little thicker. I'm seeing some thicker bladed grass coming up in this section and not in the other one, which is kind of funny. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. There's like some that's a little bit lighter in color. Hey, dude.
It's gonna get a lot better. It's gonna look more like grass. The more it grows, the more it's gonna look like grass, the ones that are bigger.
And then we're planning to put shade trees in here, huh?
Shade trees?
Yeah, so we can shade.
Like in there?
Yeah. So we can shade the playset area so it's nice and cool. It just is so nice to see green out here, and the amount of soil that it's holding down, like that topsoil blowing away in wind and such, that's just not happening in these sections anymore, which is just wonderful. If we turn to our left here, you can see how there's a flag here and then a flag there. This is actually flower bed. The water's kind of running off into the flower bed, which is good to know, knowing that that little section is going to get a little extra water. But this whole section that includes this tree, which we are going to be trimming up here in the next little bit. We've actually got natural tree coming out for a few of these bigger trees that needed to be pruned when we bought the property, and they're just the branches are too high for us to reach. So they're going to come along with their bucket and take after these trees and clean them up a little bit, and hopefully they do okay. We've been deep soaking them. You know, this whole section was grass, the entire thing. I think we went in with less than half the grass that was originally here. So the trees, you know, after you pull the grass from around them, they're not getting as much water as they once did. So we've been trying to deep soak them along the way, and hopefully they do okay. But the whole end section, you know, that's more dry is flower bed that leads up to the gravel here. And then this area, we're gonna have to soften this curve just a little bit, leads up to the barn, which we're using as storage. And then this is the last space really that they've got to work on, and they've got piles here ready to go. But they're gonna work on a nice firming up this base. They're going to bring in a little bit more soil around the back side. They've brought in a ton of soil right here, and they're going to bring in a little more, level it out, smooth it out, clean it up behind the barn. Then this whole section is going to be gravel. We do have some landscape fabric. The brand is DeWitt. It's a DeWitt Pro. It's the only kind I would ever use. It's super, super sturdy and strong, and it's what we used in our other greenhouse. So in an area like that where I knew I was going to have lots of dirt, lots of water going on in there, but an area where I didn't want to have to be using sprays and I didn't want to have to be hand pulling, we put a layer of landscape fabric underneath the gravel, and it has helped a tremendous amount, both in that area, and then we used it on the ground in between our raised beds, not under our raised beds, but in between them, right underneath the gravel, and it really cuts down on weeds there too, because it was an area that I knew I did not want to obviously need to spray anything in. So after they get this area leveled out, we're going to put landscape fabric only in this space here where the 2 high tunnels are going to go up. And I'm guessing that this part will be done like pretty quick because they've got the whole lane around the dirt lands done. This is the last little piece that they're going to be working on, and then we can get our high tunnel moved out back here and get the kind of dirt lands area right up in front of our house cleaned up. It's going to look so nice. I'm just so thrilled with how it's looking. Here's a view back the other way. We will be mulching this space here, and then there's a flower bed right at the front of it, the beginning of it. But I doubt we're gonna get that far today. We're really just wanting to focus on the berm up next to our neighbor's house because they've lived with our powdered dirt long enough. So right here between the grass and the gravel, another nice big deep flower bed. So we'll have some really fun things going on in here as well as on the berm, which that's where we're working today. And then, you know, this area here, we left just open so that things like our compost could be dropped off. And this is what we use for mulch. So they call this a forested compost. It's not dyed, but it keeps its color really nicely. And you can see it's not like a full-on compost. There's still some bark element to it. So it still sort of resembles mulch. We really like the way it looks, and we also like the fact that it's, you know, eventually working its way down into the soil and amending and building up our soil. And here's a look up closer to the barn. So there's a little flower bed right here, and then this space looks so much better. So much better than it did. It was growing a pretty nice crop of weeds there earlier this season, but our plans for this space is to eventually build an overhang off the barn so that we can protect some things that we want to park, you know, because right now we usually park our golf cart out in the middle of, you know, whatever. It'd be nice to have a designated spot that's tucked away for those sorts of things. And it really blended beautifully in with our existing driveway. You know, it's a nice curve going this way. It's a nice gentle curve going this way. We've driven it multiple times with multiple different, you know, a truck with a trailer on it, just the truck, and it feels comfortable no matter which direction you're going. And I'm walking real quick toward the dirt lands because I just want to give you a peek at that lane. So this right here is right where our last pot was that we moved to over here so that we could get the right trajectory going on. We need to do a little bit of work right here just to smooth this out a little bit, but you can see the lane. You can see some distinction, which is so fun. So the lane goes all the way around the dirt lands and back out. And then you can see where our paddocks are going to start right here with the T-post, and the fence will meet the other T-post. So this is also planting area. So a lot of projects just sort of buttoning up right now. It feels really good. And I think the mulch right now is gonna be so satisfying. So we're just gonna set cameras up and try to capture the process. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, guys, we are gonna call it for today. I just am so excited about this. I cannot believe the tremendous amount of work that got done and how beautiful it looks. Huge shout out to Paul and Bethany for all of their hard work today. They started in on the berm and they were the ones who primarily did that. I just got in on the very end of that section, and then we were able to get the other 2 flower beds done. We've got a tiny pile of mulch left, but we've got plenty of areas to use that. And I think I'm gonna ask Aaron also to maybe fly his drone so we can see what it looks like. The lines aren't gonna be super sharp until we start cutting in the grass area. You know, once it's fully up and Aaron has had a chance to mow it a few times, then we can go and with a flat shovel and make a very sharp edge and really shape that piece. So we kind of tried to do the best we could with the mulch and kind of lined it, but it will look sort of wavy until we can do that cut in part. Look at how gorgeous. Aaron is back there smoothing out some soil because that back flower bed isn't quite done, you know, with the high tunnel area. We did not mulch that far end. But this front flower bed, it gives you a better idea as to what shape it is. You can see it now. And we were kind of getting to the bottom of one of the piles over here, so you can see a little bit of the dirt that got scraped up with the mulch. But we will be remulching in this area, you know, as time goes on. And we're going to be planting trees and such in here even this fall. So that will start to take shape. Now right here, this is where our well is, and we are putting a little hut over this because the whole thing is not buried. It's all up above ground. So we've got to put an insulated little shed looking thing right here that we run a small heater in through the winter. Otherwise the water will freeze and probably cause damage. So that's something that we will be doing this fall. And then when we come in with the overhang off the barn, we wanted to have enough space for when you come around the corner to drive and maybe park, you know, straight toward the barn. That's why this area is so deep and why we just decided to do kind of a straight line just to keep this very tidy. Yeah. So starting right underneath this blue spruce tree, Paul and Bethany cleared up the weeds and dead grass and stuff like that and mulch underneath that, covering the drip tube. This area right here, we still have yet to do. We're coming in with gravel right here, and gravel will go underneath the arborvitaes. But look at how gorgeous this is. Let's just walk a little ways to see how this looks. The berm turned out beautifully. A little berm goes a long way, and I think it was built up just the perfect amount. And it kind of goes up here, and then it kind of goes down toward the end there. Oh, look how pretty. There's our landscape boxes and zones, drip zones and such. Yeah, see right up here, we'll be shaping the grass a little bit differently than it looks right now. You know, it'll be a little bit more of a sharp point, but I'm kind of thinking I want to come in with some rocks that mirror the pond sort of area, so it doesn't look like such a sharp point of a flower bed. I want to have some hardscape right there. Ooh, I'd be scared if I was Aaron. Ooh, that hillside is steep. I'll show you. Look at this. This is what we went from this to that. Dang. Yeah, there it is. So our property goes down to that hut. That hut is on our property and the fence is right there. It's pretty dang steep. Oh, so long, Powder. And from this angle, you can see back toward the barn and how beautiful this flower bed looks. So much room for pretty things. How much do you love the mulch?
Oh man, it just is like night and day.
It is. So are you just trying to level this area out a bit?
Kind of. I mean, there were some really big piles of dirt in here, and I'm just kind of trying to knock them down.
Nice.
So I'm just kind of pushing everything
back down the hill.
Back down the hill.
We are going to be planting about I don't know, you see that kind of stump thing over there? We'll probably take the mulch down the hill a little way just so visually, like, you know, it looks like mulch keeps going. Mm-hmm. And then we'll have this area planted up as well. And I kind of want to strategically plant to where we hide like this stuff, but we can see the hills. And in fact, it's so smoky today, you can't see the mountains, but you can see mountains in the distance beyond our hills right here. Hey, do you think you could fly your drone?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Show all the lines? I think it'll look really pretty. I want to see it too.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get out of your way. I'm gonna walk this way. I'm gonna pick up this ball while I'm at it. It's just so gorgeous. There is quite a hill right here too, but we don't plan on doing any kind of retaining wall. We don't have enough moisture, probably, unless we have a gully washer sort of storm. It will probably create channels and we can just fix those, but we will be just drip irrigating whatever we plant in here, so I'm not super worried about that. We could also strategically plant a few things right there for erosion control specifically, some ground cover shrub sort of situation. And with the leftover mulch, there is a little section over here where we can use it, and a section over on the other side of the play set, just beyond the grass. That could use it. The arbs over there are looking great. I also went along and I picked up all the flags that were extras, that were just there to indicate where we wanted the path, and left all the flags with the sprinklers on just until everything is up and established enough. Oh, I am just loving it. So the top of the hillside in this section are the last little areas of powder that we've got going. This isn't nearly as, there's little sections where it'll do that, where it'll puff up right here, where it's seen a lot of activity. But a lot of it looks like this. They're kind of hard and yeah, not as much going on. So you guys, that is it for today. What a wonderful day, and it looks so beautiful. And you know what Aaron, the kids, and I will be doing tonight. We will be on the golf cart and we will be driving around, and our neighbors probably think we are just nuts. That's what we do every night. We get on the golf cart and we just go around and around and around and just talk about things, enjoy the evening, the cool evening air, and just, I don't know, just take some time to enjoy the space. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.